Supplier due diligence is another element of the overall contract manager framework of applications that relates to you having elected to work on a new contract with a new supplier that is going to have a critical role to play in the success and ability of you and your company to deliver products or services to your clients. So due diligence is an area of business typically associated with making sure that you check people out. It can be as simple or as complex as you want to make it. Typically, due diligence would be, a function that every single company that goes into contract with other companies is going to go to. Whether you're aware of the fact that you're going through this process or not, let that be another consideration. In simple terms, it allows you to record things that you need the answers to or you need to satisfy yourselves of in order to proceed forwards in creating a contracted relationship with a supplier. And it may also act as an area for you to trap ongoing activities that come out of periodic reviews in your supply chain management function. So you can continue to apply this cycle of requiring further inputs from a supplier in the form of diligence about their activities with you or their behavior or their ability to execute. And these two things may end up actually tying themselves together significantly. So supplier due diligence, when you first open it, gives you a serialized list of all current contracts and suppliers against which you're performing a due diligence phase. They are red, amber and green in status. So red means there's a high risk in this due diligence activity. Green means no risk associated with these companies and they've completed the due diligence phase with you. And amber means there's a medium sensitivity risk against this company and contract. So if I pick one of these as an example, one-on-one internet, we can see here that the basic, well actually let me do it as a new one first. So if I go back to supplier due diligence and add new, basic information, you need details of the supplier that you're going to do the due diligence against. This needs to be a supplier in the contract management function. The contracts against that supplier will then show here. So if I pick one, you'll see the contracts available against which we can apply this due diligence activity. Then we select the address that this diligence may occur against, because this supplier and this contract may be over multiple addresses. So we'll pick one and we pick the contact at that company that we're working on and addressing this due diligence. And you complete the rest of the form to the best of your ability, noting the current risk status. It's RAG, red, amber or green. By typical convention, you would start until you know the answers to your due diligence, and before anything is proven to have been a high risk or no risk at all, you go with a middle weighting on the risk profile to start with. And if you want to, although you don't need to because you can do this in the body of the actual due diligence application, you can summarize the highlighted risks if you know them before you start. In some cases you won't, in which case the current risk profile would just be noted as conducting our standard due diligence process with this new supplier. So let me cancel that so I don't save it over the top of the existing one, and I'll open an existing one to show you this in action. So this is basically the information we just filled in, and now we get a set of activities and processes available to us in due diligence that allow us to track our process through executing a due diligence phase against this contract and supplier. The actions required too are, what are the actions required to satisfy due diligence? So if I click on this, this is basically a task dashboard, which is actually quite innovative in its use pattern, that you create tasks that you distribute to people across your business. These people may not be supply chain managers, they may be product managers, they may be on your professional services team, they may be actions and tasks for your legal representatives, whatever. You add tasks against the actions required to satisfy diligence. And you will be able to monitor, as a supply chain manager, the process of all tasks across these 3 columns across your entire task set. So, due diligence on a new supplier might be 3 or 4 actions for your product house so that they can check things like get a copy of the updated product specification, get updated environmental data, get hazardous materials information from that vendor, and so on. So you have a range of standard tasks that you might apply. You might send 2 tasks to your solicitor to check the latest red line in a draft clause that they've sent to you. So you can distribute all of these things as tasks. And we'll do one in a moment as an example. The alert required allows you to add employees across your business who should be alerted when the status of the activities in due diligence are changing. And these need not be people associated with supply chain management. As I said, it could be your legal people, it could be your product managers, and so on. You're able to add any notes that you wish to support this due diligence activity. Remember, it's against a contract and against a supplier. And you may have a standard pro forma due diligence document that you use to capture all of your actions and to make sure that you're asking the relevant questions of that business. And you can attach that here. You'll notice that this is in keeping with the rest of the document management functions across the entire system, that whilst this attachment is being added clearly against this company, it's being put within the directory structure of this company. There are 12 other documents here you can see against this company, but they're not related to this phase, so I don't see them here in this list. So they think of this as pigeonholes within pigeonholes. So you can add any new attachments that you wish, or you can create additional directories for different elements of this due diligence activity. And same as always, we got a nice end history button that shows us the history of the overall task matrix here to secure diligence. So back to the actions required. If I was to add a task quickly as an example, task title, get updated product spec, due date, I will mark this as a week from today, due time, we'll say 11 a.m. in the morning. The task type, these are out of your dictionaries. Activity, no category on it. Priority, I'll say high. Status pending, that means it's not yet been started. Which office do you want to deal with this? I'll have the London team dealing with it. I want them to be reminded in 1 day. And the description, please get a copy of the latest Acme product environment. It was the product specification. It's not being marked for me. I want someone else to do this for me. So I will pick the name of the employee I want to handle this task, and I hit save. So as that employee then logs in to his system and starts his work in his world, he'll see a new action and a new task assigned to him, which is to get the latest product spec. And when they edit this, or they can do it simply, when they receive the task and they begin action on it, they'll change its status. You'll see it as this card of action now appearing in this column. So the tasks and activities you create that you distribute across your business in order to seek due diligence activities and making sure that they're being done, you'll see them all moving from the left column through being done into completed. And this gives you an instant dashboard type view of where you are in relation to all the tasks set out to secure your due diligence against this company. And anyone else that was required on the alerts, they can be added. So when anything changes in this due diligence activity, all of the employees that you add will be notified of a change. So that's it, really. You can make this as complex as you like, or you can have it relatively simple. Its aim and its purpose is to support you by making sure that you've asked for the right information and that you've been provided the right form of responses and answers, or documents and collateral, to satisfy reasonable due diligence on a new supplier and a new contract.